the chat, it's all about motorsport. So right here on the Morning Show Sports Chat, from roars of the engine to the thrill of the podium, our next guest is a force to be reckoned with on and off the track. I mean, championship winning driver, businesswoman, and all-rounder, a trailblazer. Paige Lindenberg has been breaking barriers in motorsport since she was just 9 years old. Now, fresh from Women's Day weekend at Corps, where she extended her lead in the historic championship, she's here to talk everything racing, the passion, and paving the way for the next generation of women in motorsport. Paige, welcome back. Actually, let me just put it that way, because the last time you were here, you were with the legendary Paige Lindenberg, and today it's more like full circle, just from your race. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. It's always great being here. Yeah, we've just come back from Cycles Raceway on the weekend. It was the 5th round of our championship, and it was a good weekend. The aim of the weekend was to just finish the race safely. We had a starting grid of 40 cars, which is always chaotic with accidents, so managed to dodge a few close calls with guys who lost ahead of me, and the main aim at this point in the championship is to finish the race, not get into any incidents, and just get the points, because you don't want to have an incident that, you know, takes you out of the race and you get no points. So we managed to finish second for the day, which was a great result, and keeping it clean was the aim. So yeah, bagged some good points.
I'll probably like take it back to obviously the iconic, the legendary, you know, Peter, right? The last conversation I had with him here in studio, he spoke about, you know, so many near-death experiences, and you're talking about those accidents. The correlation in that, how much of, you know, that play in your head every time whenever you go into the race? And maybe for viewers' interest's sake, let's talk about your relation with Paige Lindenberg as well.
Yeah, so Peter is my father. He's been declared dead twice.
Yeah.
He's broken every bone in his body, a lot more than once.
I'm not laughing, but whenever he says that, and the way you say it now, I think you've gotten used to you saying it. It's okay, because how he says it, and you see how he says it, it's like, oh, yeah, I've done this, I've done that. I'm like, oh my word.
I mean, you read the book.
Yeah, I read the book, and I'm like, no, this didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, but now how much does that play into your head when you get into that wheel?
It doesn't. He's always said to me, the day I fear racing or the day I fear having an accident or getting hurt is the day I have to stop.
Just stop.
I've never ever feared it. It's a part of my life. It's who I am. I know what I'm doing. I've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I've never ever feared it. I never ever get in the car thinking, oh, what if I have an accident? What if something happens in the car?
Yeah.
I mean, his car caught fire, you know, a few years ago when I was racing with him. Like, we've seen it all. So yeah, I mean, it is a scary thought if you like really sit and think about it, but I don't ever sit and think about it. It's not something that crosses my mind.
But that's the thrill that you live for. That's why you're doing it, to say, I want to be ticking all the boxes, you know, because I was also looking at the Formula One story, right, where you look at Ayrton Senna's demise as well, and how it happened, how he went through a lot before that final moment. But everyone closer to him, what they say about him is that, man, when that man was behind the wheel, that was it. Nothing matters anymore, you know. Do you get to a point where you're like, you know what, this is it. I'm just going to drive for the thrill. I'm just going to be locked into that moment where I'm alone.
Yeah, like I think the minute your helmet goes on, you almost go into your own zone, at least for me. Like the minute my helmet goes on, I'm in the car, I go into my own zone where I know I'm going out on track, I know what I got to do, nothing else really plays on your mind.
Yeah,
you know, you just focus on what's ahead of you, get the race done as best you can. So yeah, I think we've like taught ourselves to get into that zone of focus and not to be aware of what's going on around you, because before a race, as always, a million people around you, and people want to have photos and talk to you, and so I think once your helmet's on, you're kind of in that zone where you just get into the right headspace to go out and do the best that you can do.
Amazing stuff. Now let's talk about this past weekend, obviously Women's Day race. Motorsport is largely, you know, more about, it's a male-dominated sport, right? Do you think moments like this past weekend, where you're commemorating Women's Day, helping to change like the whole perspective when it comes to motorsport and women.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this last race day was amazing. They had a touch of pink challenge, so even the guys were wearing pink. Our team wore pink caps for the weekend,
Nice.
even the guys. So I think it's definitely bringing more awareness to women in motorsport and women in male-dominated spaces.
Yeah.
You're still going to have the issues that exist, unfortunately, but I definitely think it's getting better all around for women in sport, not just in motorsport. It's improving every year. There's so many businesses and corporates and people trying to make a difference and make women feel more included and in a safe space, and it's definitely getting better. But Saturday was such an awesome event. Everywhere you looked, there was pink and support for women. They had wives and girlfriends of guys racing in a special race for women. So to give women that opportunity is a really great start, you know, to just include women who are not involved in motorsport.
Amazing, amazing. Paige, do you know the saying that says, the apple doesn't fall far from, you know?
The tree.
Because I'm getting that sense, like, I know you're your own person, right? But having read the book, having had the chat with your dad, I feel like I'm getting this sense where it's coming from. You're also an adrenaline junkie. And on top of that, the other video tells me that you've also submitted Mount Kilimanjaro as well.
Yeah.
Like, you worked as a ski instructor as well.
Yeah.
There's just so much that's happening. How do these experiences fit into who you are as a racer? Now when you combine, or maybe as a person?
Yeah, I think you're right. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My dad's a super headstrong guy, and I think I've picked up a lot of that from him. I'm a very headstrong person. If I put my mind to something, I will do it. And if someone tells me I can't, then I will prove them wrong. So very much headstrong, and I think it all links. Like I've got a personality that, like, I'm very driven and I know what I want to succeed in and what I want to achieve. And if I put my mind to it, I'll do it. Kilimanjaro was one of the toughest things I've ever done. Like, it's a personal journey that you go on that you can't explain to anyone. But we did it for the Nelson Mandela Foundation to raise funds for girls in school. And I also love having a purpose. I love giving back and making a difference. And like for that was climbing a mountain for people that can't, and we did that and we succeeded, and I put 267 girls through school for 6 months with sanitary pads from that. So I love having a purpose. I love having I love being pushed to limits that you think you can't get to. I love proving that I can for myself. So it's definitely come from my dad. There's no question about it.
Now let's talk about the Lindenberg racing, because it's a huge project which is closer to your heart. It's a legacy that spans from decades, and now here you guys are again, you carrying it through. I mean, it does. I know from, if you're not wearing that helmet, you also have, you know, the business side of things that you focus on from, you know, you as an individual. But what does it symbolize, you know, to represent such a huge legacy? What does it mean for you?
Yeah, look, it's pressure for sure.
Definitely.
I've got the surname, and I think for a long time some people may have had the opinion that I had the surname, which is why I was where I was. But I think I've proven myself now. I think I have a talent, and I've proven that I have a right to be where I am. Our racing team is 50 in 2 years, so in 2027, Lindenberg Racing will be 50 years old, which is basically unheard of in this country. Probably the longest standing racing team going. So it's definitely pressure to keep the legacy going, but it's something so close to my heart, and racing is a huge passion of mine. It's a part of who I am. It's not something I ever want to stop. And I plan to keep the legacy going for as long as I can, and hopefully our kids will do the same. I've got a nephew who's 3 who already loves bikes and cars, and he's already told us he's going to race. So I think we've got a long legacy ahead that will keep going from generation to generation.
I like that. I want to say something, probably put it in parable, so to speak, and you continue that as an inspiration. If I were to say to Paige right now, dare to dream, what did you say to her?
I've always had a thing in my head that no mountain is too high and no dream is too big. And I think I'm proof in that. Like, whatever I want to achieve and put my mind to, I will do what I need to do to make a success of it, no matter what the sacrifices are. So dream big because it's possible.
Wow.
It's not impossible.
Wow, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. This is so inspirational. Now, finally, we are looking ahead. What's next for this season? And we just spoke about, you know, anything and everything being possible, never stop dreaming. What's your biggest dream as Paige? I don't want to talk about, yes, obviously, it always ties down to the legacy and the pressure and the name that you're carrying. That one, unfortunately, no one can strip it away from you. You'll always carry it throughout. But what's next?
I think, like, with my racing career, I love everything that I do. I can't ask for much more. Obviously, I would love to extend on that and make it better. But I got married last year, and family is something. Thank you. Family is something I've always wanted, which is a difficult one with my industry. So that's definitely something in the future that, you know, we're looking into. So yeah, I would love to have my own family and my own kids to leave a legacy to, and build on what we've created, because I'm so content with the life that I have and what I've created with it, and yeah, just to build on what I've got, I think would be an honor.
I love how you're always grateful for every moment, and Paige, you are living that dream, you are living in that moment, and most importantly, you are an inspiration. You know, to women out there, may you continue shining. Well done. And may the legacy live on. Please pass my regards to Sir Peter. And thank you so much once again for joining us. All the best of luck. Keep shining. Just keep driving. Just keep driving and growing, hey? Thank you so much once again, Paige.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff. For the TMS family, a massive thank you to Paige. It's been an absolute pleasure having her to share her journey, and all the best of luck to her for the rest of the season. She's been making history on the water to leading the pack on the track as well. Now, Paige Lindenberg continues to prove that speed has no limits, and neither do dreams. So we'll be watching closely as she continues rising and carrying the legacy, which is a rich one, that inspires the next generation of racers and also women out there. So thank you so much once again to Paige for joining us. And it is What's Cooking Wednesday, so in case you're wondering what are we cooking,